Hi students, good afternoon to all of you. Yesterday it was a very tiring lecture for me because it was continuous. I spoke, but I hope that would be benefited by that lecture. And in continuation with that last lecture, we have come to the romantic poets. These romantic poets are supposed to क्या कहें, are the best in the entire world of English literature. Maybe Wordsworth, Coleridge, Byron, anybody, Shelley, Keats. So be very careful in listening to this lecture because ऐसे lectures जल्दी हमें मिलते नहीं है बेटे कि हम उन lectures को preciseness से सुन पाएं और अपने mind को nourish कर लें. So I'm going to start first with William Wordsworth. एक चीज मैं आपको यहां और बता दूं कि आज मैंने पहला लाइव लेक्चर लिया था आईएएस मेंस का, आईएएस मेंस इन इंग्लिश लिटरेचर का. सो उसमें एक स्पेशल वर्ड्सवर्थ का एक आज लेक्चर बना है जो आज अभी 2 घंटे बाद हमारे यूट्यूब पे लोड हो जाएगा, अपलोड हो जाएगा फॉर आईएएस एस्पिरेंट्स. बट it will be very beneficial for the UGC NET aspirants also. So do listen that lecture very carefully क्योंकि उसमें आपको ये पता चलेगा कि जो आईएएस का लेवल है उसको सर ने कैसे बोला है और कितना आपको डिफरेंस फील होगा कि एक बीए का लेवल होता है, एक एमए का लेवल होता है और एक आईएएस का लेवल होता है, जो जनरली बच्चे समझते नहीं है. वो सोचते हैं कि हम एमए इंग्लिश कर रहे हैं तो हम आईएएस मेंस भी कर लेंगे. इट इज एक्चुअली नॉट लाइक दैट. द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ इंग्लिश, मैंने स्टूडेंट्स को यही बताने की कोशिश किया है उस पर्टिकुलर आज लेक्चर में कि हमारे लेक्चर को सुनिए और देखिए कि आपकी लेवल ऑफ इंग्लिश ऐसी होनी चाहिए कम से कम. Then only you will get marks. So you listen to that lecture very carefully on the YouTube. उसमें Wordsworth लिख के आएगा. And most of the students do share those lectures to the other students who are preparing for this exam and who don't know OSN Academy. You can even put your comments on the that comment box. So coming to Wordsworth. Wordsworth is, as you know, one of the greatest English poets of England, and in his essay on Wordsworth, Matthew Arnold has placed him next only to Shakespeare and Milton. मतलब आर्नल्ड जैसा बड़ा आदमी ने अपने एक ऐसे में वर्ड्सवर्थ को कहां पे प्लेस किया है? नेक्स्ट ओनली टू शेक्सपियर, मिल्टन एंड देन वर्ड्सवर्थ. The lyrical ballads, which you know it is a collection of lyrics, the prelude, then the excursion. Excursion से बहुत सारे सवाल पूछते हैं नेट में. The excursion are some of his known works, but Wordsworth's poetry also suffers from a number of limitations. So, first of all, we will find out his demerits. The first demerit of Wordsworth is inequality. Listen it carefully. Inequality. What is this inequality? Critics after critics, many scholars, people from English field have emphasized the inequality of his work, and a large mass of his inferior work was so dull and so prosaic that it is practically unreadable, which came from Wordsworth's pen. And so, after knowing these things, Matthew Arnold has observed about him that to be recognized far and wide as a great poet, to be possible and receivable as a classic, Wordsworth needs to be relieved of a great deal of the poetic baggage which now encumbers him. He is at the best only in certain passages of his longer poems and in his short pieces, and therefore, to be truly appreciated, he must be read through a very judicious selection. Matlab, we have to make a very judgmental selection of his small poems. Why? Because much of his voluminous work is dull and it is flat, which is not even readable. He has a fatal tendency to talk at length even about the minute and the minor details. And he has not that artistic sense enough to know when to stop. And so, by and large, his poetry has so many things into it which is considered worthless. So, the large bulk which is left after the process of elimination and selection is of such noble quality that it entitles him to the rank of one of the greatest poets, not only of England, but of the entire world. Clear? So this is what I told you in the heading Inequality, how his poems are like this. ये demerit की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग. The second demerit of Wordsworth is about his egotism. Ego से बना है egotism. He is excessive. He has excessive egotism. Why? Because he is too preoccupied with his own self. And because he is preoccupied with his own self all the time, so he takes an objective view of the things. Objective. He was always talking about himself and of his experiences, and many a times, frequently, indulges in trivial details which might have been important for him, but which has no significance and no interest to the readers. So at times, he grows and becomes very dull and boring. So this is the second defect. The third defect is that Wordsworth has somewhere known for lack of lyricism. I'll explain you how. चाहे कितना भी बड़ा पोएट वर्ड्सवर्थ हो, he is curiously deficient in the purely lyrical gift. जिसको प्योर लिरिसिज्म कहते हैं, he is actually deficient. ऐसा एक बहुत बड़े क्रिटिक और राइटर ने कहा है, उसका नाम है एल्बर्ट, ALBERT. Wordsworth cannot lay bare his bosom out as Burns has done, BURNS, a great poet. He cannot leap into others like Shelley. Shelley is a great poet. He is known for his lyrical quality. He exhales lyric like anything. जैसे हम सांस लेते हैं और सांस निकालते हैं, तो Shelley was in a habit of exhaling lyrics. So Wordsworth ने जो भी lyrics लिखे हैं, he is reflective, analytical and philosophical, rather than emotional and passionate. देखिए, यही चीजें होती हैं जो आपको मार्क्स देती हैं. कहीं भी आपको कुछ बोलना है या लिखना है या इंटरव्यू में कुछ कहना है, कि वन लाइनर वर्ड हम आपको दे रहे हैं कि Wordsworth is a poet, a lyric writer, a poet, a great poet, and whatever he has written, he is reflective, he is analytical, he is philosophical, rather than emotional and passionate. He is not emotional, he is not passionate, and he lacks the true lyrical spontaneity. And the music and melody of Shelley is beyond his reach. शेली को तो कभी पा ही नहीं सकता वो. Love, which has been a universal subject of the lyric. हमेशा याद रखिए, लिरिक अगर है तो उसमें लव तो होगा ही, बिकॉज लिरिक इज इक्वल टू लव, ऐसा मानते हैं. बट पैशनेट लव finds no place in Wordsworth's poetry, which we find in other romantic poets. So, अगर हम मेहनत कर रहे हैं वर्ड्सवर्थ की पोइट्री में पैशनेट लव ढूंढने के लिए, so we are searching in vain for the passion of love to be found in the intensity of his work. The next defect of Wordsworth is that his poetry lacks, or we can say, it has a limited range of his poetry. Extremely limited. He only deals with two things. And what are those two things? Only nature and man. Nature and man. His view of nature is partial and one-sided. And what is that partial and one-sided? The positive aspects of nature. He never saw the negative aspects of nature. He sings of the joy. He sings of the peace and harmony of nature, and shows no awareness of the nature in the tumultuous way and the brutal struggle for existence that rages within nature. नेचर का जो दूसरा रूप है, क्या उसने कभी नहीं देखा था, या देखा था तो वो कहना नहीं चाहता था. So he is so partial because he had known nature only in the Lake District. Had he ever born to the tropics of his optimistic faith in the benevolence and the kindliness of nature would have shaken, he would have not shown such great appreciation of nature, like nature red in tooth and claw. Red in tooth and claw, जो टेनिसन की पोएम्स के लिए कहा जाता है. Similarly, his view of human nature is extremely simple, extremely elementary, because it is based on the simple rustics of the villages. Understood? So now we will come to the merits of Wordsworth's poetry. Merits for which he is known. Nobody is perfect. So, चाहे वो मिल्टन हो, चाहे वर्ड्सवर्थ हो, चाहे वॉल्ट विटमैन हो, चाहे कोई भी हो, everybody has its merit and demerits. अगर हम किसी को चाहते हैं, हम किसी की इज्जत करते हैं, चाहे वो हमारे माँ बाप क्यों ना हो, भाई बहन क्यों ना हो, कोई भी रिलेशनशिप हो, we have to accept them with the merits as well as the demerits. So students, suppose अगर आपसे कोई इंटरव्यू में पूछे, ये बहुत पूछते हैं हम लोग, you have qualified NET, you have read so much, now can you tell me who is your famous author, famous poet, poetry, drama, fiction, whoever it is. अब बच्चे इसमें परेशान हो जाते हैं कि हजारों सैकड़ों ऑथर्स जानते हैं, सो वो घबराहट में कुछ भी बोल देते हैं. दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड कि ये क्वेश्चन एकदम रेडी होना चाहिए, क्योंकि द मोमेंट यू स्पीक वर्ड्सवर्थ, मार्लो, शेक्सपियर, एनीथिंग, नाउ यू आर इन देयर, उनके मुट्ठी में आप आ गए, क्योंकि उसके बाद जो क्वेश्चन वो डालने वाले हैं उनकी बैटिंग करना बहुत आसान नहीं होता. सो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट यू हैव टू बी हैव सम परफेक्शन in many spheres of literature for preparing for your interviews. So now the first point of Wordsworth merit is that his interpretation of nature is very unique. Nobody has interpreted nature like the way Wordsworth has done. So we can say that irrespective of any number of limitations, as a poet, Wordsworth, one of the immortals of the world, he is one of the immortals of the world, and he has his own distinctive position, his own distinctive place in literature, to his wonderful power which he has as an interpreter of nature, especially on the spiritual side, आध्यात्मिक के तरफ, because once you go for the 4 stages of Wordsworth, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the fourth stage, he has a brooding communion with nature, where he has finally shown that every object of nature has its own soul. और वो सोल ही है जो हमको चला रही है, इस दुनिया को चला रही है. And through his imaginative insight, he penetrates into the heart of the things and discovers a new beauty, a new grandeur. And that beauty and grandeur which he discovers, it is even in the very lowly and the commonplace things. But his real greatness lies in his giving nature a life. सबसे बड़ी ग्रेटनेस वर्ड्सवर्थ की क्या है कि वो नेचर को एक जिंदगी दे देता है. ही गिव्स नेचर अ लाइफ एंड सोल ऑफ हर ओन ऑफ हिज ओन, और उसके हाथों में नेचर बिकम्स अ लिविंग पर्सनैलिटी. अब उसकी पोएम्स पढ़िए तो वो नेचर को पर्सोनिफाई कर देता है. ही मेक्स नेचर अ लिविंग पर्सनैलिटी, डिराइविंग हर सोल फ्रॉम द सुप्रीम. सुप्रीम कौन है? गॉड. ही गिव्स अस the very life and soul of nature and creates the impression that she watches benignly and guides, consoles, cherishes those who come to her in the proper mood and a mood of beauty, splendor. मतलब कि अगर हम नेचर के पुत्र हैं और हम नेचर को एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं तो नेचर आपका पूरा ख्याल रखेगा. इसको कहते हैं एक आध्यात्मिक इंटरप्रिटेशन. दिस स्पिरिचुअल इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ नेचर इज वन ऑफ द चीफ ग्रेटनेस एंड ग्लोरी ऑफ वर्ड्सवर्थ, एंड इन दिस ही स्टैंड्स यूनिक अमंग द इंग्लिश पोएट्स. सो एज ए इंटरप्रेटर ऑफ नेचर, यह आपका पहला मेरिट पॉइंट हुआ. सेकेंड जो इसके लिए जाना जाता है वर्ड्सवर्थ, that Wordsworth is a great man, as a great poet, because he's a great poet of man. इंसान का, इंसानियत का, ह्यूमैनिटी का वो एक बहुत बड़ा कवि है. जैसे वो एक नेचर का इंटरप्रेटर है, he is a great interpreter of nature, equally he is a great interpreter of human life, and thereby he sings of humble humility. He sings of humanity living in the lap of nature. He is in a habit of penetrating through the artificialities of civilization for the emotions, for the joys and sorrows, for the love and hate, which are very common if we are people, if we are human beings. And according to Wordsworth, society and people living in the society, etc., the unnatural life of cities, they tend to weaken and corrupt the humanity. So that is why he always says, a return to our nature and simple living is the only remedy for human, you can say, human life. He is great. He is original in the sphere of English poetry, no doubt, and in bringing in the humble humanity within its domain. वो गाना किसी प्रिंसेस के लिए, किसी हीरो हीरोइन के लिए नहीं गाता. He does not sing for the great princes and heroines, but he sings about the joys and sorrows of the humble rustics, the shepherds, the peasants, the reapers, the highland girls, and thereby reveal the inherent grandeur and glory of their souls. क्या आप देखिए उनके अंदर कितनी ग्लोरी है, कितना ग्रैंडर है, अपने कविता के माध्यम से वो बताता है. Now, next is Wordsworth, a great poet and a great teacher. His merit as a teacher, Wordsworth undoubtedly is a great poet, but apart from every merit, he is a great teacher too. For when really inspired, moral truth is transformed by him into the purest form of poetry. And his view of life, जैसा कि हम भी अपने स्टूडेंट्स को पिछले 20-22 वर्षों से यही बताते चले आ रहे हैं कि नेवर बी पेसिमिस्टिक इन लाइफ. If you are a student of literature, you will find n number of people have made their careers in the field of English literature. They had nothing with themselves. They had only two things: optimism and hard work, and good feeling towards God. So his view of life is an optimistic one, and the purpose of many of his poems show that the keynote chabi of all life is happiness and nothing else. You purchase the biggest car in the world, you purchase the biggest house in the world, you have a lot of money, everything, but that actually does not mean that you are happy. He does not make man the slave of his circumstances, but boldly proclaims that he can rise above them by following the path of virtue, by following the path of truth and fortitude. Moral struggles may be very strenuous, but it ultimately issues in unbounded joy. अगर ज्यादा आपको खुशी चाहिए तो स्ट्रेनुअस जरूर है, स्ट्रगल बहुत है जीवन में, लेकिन उसका रिजल्ट भी बहुत मीठा है. His greatest achievement as a teacher is that he can remain a great artist while uttering great moral or philosophical ideas. तो बच्चों, बीच बीच में हम आपको कुछ अच्छी बातें भी बताते रहते हैं. आप हमारे सामने तो नहीं हैं, लेकिन चूंकि आप मुझे देख रहे हैं और हमारी एनर्जी यहां से आप तक जा रही है, तो हमारे 20-22 साल के करियर में भी अगर हम कुछ कुछ चीजें आपको कभी कभी बताते रहेंगे तो इट वुड बी वेरी फ्रूटफुल फॉर योर एंटायर लाइफ टू. हमेशा याद रखिएगा कि ये नेट हो गया, सेट हो गया, आईएएस हो गया, एग्जाम हो गया, कोई भी these exams are actually not the end of your destination. This is just a passage. नेट नहीं हुए तो जिंदगी नहीं चली गई, नेट हो गए तो जिंदगी नहीं मिल गई. कभी भी ऐसे मत सोचिएगा. और हम जिस चीज के लिए भागते हैं, मतलब जिस चीज के लिए वी बिकम मैड फॉर इट, वो हमें नहीं मिलता. बी पैशनेट बट डोंट बी मैड फॉर एनीथिंग. क्योंकि जब मैडनेस आती है तो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे अंदर एक डिमेरिट आ जाती है जो उस चीज तक पहुंचने नहीं देती मुझे. शायद आप मेरे सामने बैठे होते तो हम आप इसको और विस्तार से समझा पाते. हो सकता है कुछ बच्चे इसको समझ ना पाए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, when I was in my MA English, I had made it very clear in my career कि हमें सिर्फ प्रोफेसर बनना है, नथिंग एल्स. इट वॉज वेरी क्लियर. अब बने ना बने वो एक अलग बात है, नहीं बनते तो क्या होता. सो हमारे को पता था कि हमें क्या बनना है, एंड आई वॉज इन टू इट. I did my MA English. I got enrolled into my doctorate. But NET, as usual, was not an easy cup for tea for anybody, even today, even that day. Proper subjective होता था, उसमें पेपर सिलेक्शन होता था. हमारा जो पेपर था उस हमने जो सिलेक्ट किया था थर्ड पेपर, उसका नाम था अमेरिकन लिटरेचर. Because I was a topper of American literature in my University of Allahabad, so I took that American branch. अब मैं आपको बताना क्या चाहता हूं, ये इंपॉर्टेंट है. नेट का रिजल्ट आया, पहले नेट का पेपर आया, एंड एज यू नो टॉपर ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी, फर्स्ट डिविजनर बहुत बड़ी बात होती थी हमारे समय में. आई एंटर्ड इनटू द हॉल, सॉ द पेपर, नेट. मैं आपको अपने एक्सप्रेशन से बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं. जब मैंने पेपर देखा तो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि ये उर्दू में लिखा है. समझते जाइएगा जरा. ऐसा लगा मुझे कि ये उर्दू में लिखा है. और मैं अपनी बात कर रहा हूं, जिसने बीए और एमए में सिर्फ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर में मार्कशीट में कमाल किया हुआ था. पूरा यूनिवर्सिटी मुझे जानता था कि वन ऑफ द मोस्ट साउंड स्टूडेंट्स इंग्लिश लिटरेचर हु हैज अ हैबिट ऑफ ओनली रीडिंग. और क्या नहीं पढ़ा था मैंने. इन स्पाइट ऑफ दैट पेपर वॉज रिटन इन उर्दू फॉर मी. सो व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय दिस? दिस मीन्स कि नेट वॉज नेवर इजी फॉर एनीबडी. अब वो ऐसा क्यों हुआ? तब मुझे समझ में आया कि नेट होता क्या है. जो हम एमए में पढ़ के आए हैं, जो हम बीए में पढ़ के आए हैं, आप अपने भी फेलो स्टूडेंट्स को बताइएगा कि नेट वो नहीं होता. आप लोगों को भी शायद आपने टेलीफोन पे जब बात की होगी, मैंने बताया होगा कि एमए इंग्लिश इज जस्ट 10% ऑफ नेट. ये कोई मानने को तैयार ही नहीं होता. और जब सामने चीज आती है तो समझ में आता है कि अरे हमें तो कुछ आता ही नहीं. सो व्हाट आई डिड, आई स्टार्टेड राइटिंग. आई हैड टू टाइम पास करना था मुझे 2.5-3 घंटे का. तो आई स्टार्टेड राइटिंग गजल्स, Hindi ghazals, English ghazals, songs to fill the paper, and all my surrounding, my classmates thought that he will qualify. He's a topper, he will qualify because he's writing so much. My God, we are not knowing anything. He's writing so much, writing. They were not knowing that what I am writing. Got it? So in short, I would like to tell you this thing कि ऐसा हुआ था. उसके बाद सेकेंड अटेम्प्ट दिया, सेकेंड अटेम्प्ट में भी नहीं हुआ. उसके बाद हार नहीं माना, थर्ड अटेम्प्ट दिया. और पहला अटेम्प्ट तो मैंने आपको बताया. सेकंड अटेम्प्ट मेरा पेपर 1 के वजह से चला गया. ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट. पेपर 1 क्या होता है? नथिंग. उस जमाने में पेपर 1 जब पास होते थे बच्चे, 20 मार्क्स मीन्स 40 मार्क्स पास मार्क्स होता था. जब आपको 40 मिलता था क्वालिफाइंग, तब पेपर 3 और पेपर 2 चेक होता था, और पेपर 2 ऑब्जेक्टिव होता था. जब पेपर 2 क्वालिफाई करते तो पेपर 3 चेक होता था. तो हमारा जब पेपर 1 ही रुक गया तो पेपर 2 पेपर 3 आप हीरो बन गए हो तो उसमें भी क्या कर, कोई चेक ही नहीं किया. सो देन समबडी टोल्ड मी दैट दिस माइट बी द रीजन you go to some place and take something for paper 1. I did the same thing, and in that I could make it. And today, as a government professor of 20 years experience, I have taught more than 10,000 plus students. 10,000 plus students in India. Thousands of selections all over the 29 states of India. But आपने कहीं भी हमारे YouTube चैनल पे एक भी सिलेक्शन या एक भी बच्चों का नाम देखा? कहीं पे भी? नो. सो दिस इज द डिफरेंस. अब आपको समझ में आया कि डिफरेंस क्या होता है. कि दिखाने की जरूरत आपको नहीं है. क्वालिटी शुड स्पीक इन इटसेल्फ. If I am showing that I have did my 100 selections and I am not able to teach you, it hardly matters. So that is the reason why my students are actually blessed that what they are going to get, they are getting, that is something which is so precious that only my students can understand. A person only knowing me from the outer aspects of the world, they cannot, unless and until they will not get into it. मेरे ख्याल से this 5 minutes lecture would have been giving you a lot of optimism in life, and you could feel कि हाँ, हमें सारे अपने कॉर्नर सही रखने हैं. So The next merit of Wordsworth is that his poetry has a lot of healing power. हीलिंग समझते हैं? दवाई जब आप खाते हैं तो हील करते हैं, उससे ठीक होता है. तो इसमें भी critics after critics have seen, have visualized, have felt the healing power of Wordsworth's poetry. And I am not able to remember the name, but there is some great man who has written somewhere that Wordsworth is the only poet who bears that feel at the time of distress, जब आप परेशान हो, because his favorite lesson is the possibility of turning grief and disappointment to account. And this is so because the poetry of Wordsworth, more than that of any other poet, is the poetry of happiness. It is the poetry of joy. It is the reflection of peace. It is the reflection of our own soul, which we found everywhere in nature. And he brings that soothing effect, that joy for the soul of humanity, and which is actually being crushed under the great monster of materialism. इसको हिंदी में कहते हैं कि आज सांसारिक मटेरियलिस्टिक चीजों में हमारा शरीर, हमारा मन, हमारा धन, हमारी फील सब कुछ दब के रह गया है. So in the end, I would again tell for certain lines about Wordsworth that yes, he was a great man, he was a great teacher, he was a great poet. He is great for he opens the eyes of his readers. अपने रीडर्स की आंखें वो खोल देता है to the loveliness of nature and their souls for meeting them to the divine. And Wordsworth's poetry is actually great. ये लिखा है कहीं पे आर्नल्ड ने, Wordsworth poetry is great because of the extraordinary power with which Wordsworth feels the joy offered to us in nature. The joy offered to us in the simple and the primary affections and duties. And because of that extraordinary power with which, in case after case, he shows us this joy and renders it so as to make us share it. He is a genius. He is actually inspires us. Nature herself seems to take the pen out of his hand and write to him with that penetrating power. And so, my last line for Wordsworth would be that he is actually one of the chief glories of the English poetry. Chief glories of English poetry. I'll just take a 30 minutes break, 30 seconds break. I'll come back to you just to have a glass of water. for you is, yeah, the second poet in line for you is S.T. Coleridge, who was born in 1772 and died in 1835. Who was considered to be the high priest of Romanticism? It was Coleridge, the high priest of Romanticism. And his three great poems, The Ancient Mariner, Kubla Khan, and Christabel, are considered to be the great English romantic masterpieces, the most unusual and the most romantic. And why it is so? Because in his poetry, the chief characteristics of Romanticism finds a very, very rich expression. You must have read that his treatment of the supernatural is so original. He is considered to be a supernatural poet too. And the Romantics have always given great emphasis to imagination. Why? Because imagination, passion, emotion was always a divine thing for them. And by this power of imagination, Coleridge used to perceive the unseen forces at work behind the visible world. जो विजिबल वर्ल्ड है हमारे सामने, उसके पीछे जो भी अनसीन फोर्सेस हैं, वो अपनी इमेजिनेशन से उसको देख लेता था. एंड देन थ्रू हिज पोइट्री he tried to convey all those perceptions and those mysteries of things to others, means to us. His poetry, therefore, is mysterious, is strange in comparison to other romantic poets. And it is this power of imagination that makes him the supreme poet of the supernatural. Why? Because he creates a sense of strangeness. He creates a sense of wonder, which somewhere, if you have read, Walter Pater has also defined Romanticism as the addition of strangeness to beauty. Do you remember? So this addition of strangeness to beauty, which has been the strength of Coleridge's poems. And by treating the supernatural, he has given us a very rich literary feast. And in his poetry, the supernatural does not appear in the crude physical form as in the earlier writers, but it is diffused in the atmosphere. Apart from his supernatural, we will also consider here the supernatural and the suspension of disbelief. That Coleridge, by his power of imagination, procures for the supernatural that suspension of disbelief, which constitutes poetic faith. He makes the supernatural look natural. By his imaginative treatment, अपनी imagination की तरीके से, he tries to create a proper atmosphere. And through that proper atmosphere, then emerges out something marvelous. कितनी भी कॉमन चीजें, कॉमन नेचुरल ऑब्जेक्ट, कॉमन नेचुरल फेनोमेना, when described in the imaginative manner, they seem to appear unnatural and wonderful. ये तो वही वाली बात है कि कोई भी चीज को अगर ब्यूटीफुल तरीके से उसकी रैपिंग कर दी जाए तो एक नॉर्मल इंसान भी अच्छा लगने लगता है. सो ये कला होती है. सो ऑल नेचर is presented by Coleridge with mystery and haunted by some supernatural being. So ये उसका wonder working power था Coleridge का, and through which he used to evoke the hidden mystery of things, and through which the things used to look mysterious. The mysterious things look natural, and thereby we are able to accept those things. Coleridge, as a poet, was actually a great dreamer who also took a lot of interest in hallucinations, illusions, dreams, and magic. The dream quality of his poetry is nothing but a romantic trait. He escapes from the world of reality into the world of dreams. For example, Kubla Khan is actually a dream which was broken by the knock of a visitor. And this dream quality of his poetry is a romantic trait, and thereby makes Coleridge one of the greatest of the romantics. If we talk about Coleridge's medievalism, there also he has a special appeal, because medievalism is an age of magic and superstition. Because Coleridge was the man who recreated the medieval atmosphere of wonder, of mystery, of so many things which look wonderful. In his poem Christabel, the castle, the rich baron, the shield, the maiden praying at mid of night, all these things characterize the Middle Ages. And the repetition in the ballad manner, the narration of the story through question and answer method, etc. Frequent exclamations, such as we get in that Ancient Mariner poem. All these things create an atmosphere of medievalism. Then Coleridge, as a poet, also loved to write, to know, to have a strange fascination about the distant lands, about the remote lands, and Coleridge was also no exception to it. The story of Christabel takes place in the remote Middle Ages, and the scene of action of the Ancient Mariner is laid first in the distant and the unfamiliar polar regions, and then in the equally unknown tropics. And in this respect, Coleridge was more romantic than Wordsworth. As we are studying the Romantic age, that romantic poetry is characterized by a love of outdoor world. So Coleridge also loved nature, and he observed nature with his own eyes steadily fixed upon her, and so could describe her feeling with great accuracy and minuteness even than Wordsworth. In some of his nature pieces, He is as sensuous as Keats, and he often finds in nature symbols of his thoughts and feelings, and often she reflects his own soul. So this was the love of nature of Coleridge. So I have given you the proper details of Coleridge as a poet. So now I would take rest here. Again, this lecture was also very strenuous for me, continuous, giving you that energy level. I would ask you now through the message box, students, that all of you are here because till today so many students have not given their presence. Khatija, Nisarga, Shreya, Saman, Shreya, good evening to all of you. So, any questions would you like to ask? And I'm waiting for your questions, dear students. एक चीज मैं आपको यहां पे बताना चाहूंगा, अभी से आप नोट कर लें कि 1st ऑफ मार्च को शायद फ्राइडे है. लेट मी चेक इट मोबाइल का. यस, 1st ऑफ मार्च को फ्राइडे है. सो it is quite possible that I may have to go out of town to my native place. So if I am leaving on Friday, then probably I'll be leaving on Friday morning. So your classes will be then normally on Monday same time. So ये ध्यान रखिएगा. और कभी भी आगे के लिए भी अगर हमने सपोज करिए पहले नहीं बताया है और आपने क्लास खोला और देखा कि अरे सर नहीं दिख रहे हैं या क्लास नहीं दिख रही है, तो कोई वरी करने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप एक नंबर नोट कर लें और हमारे ऑफिस में फोन करके हमारे स्टाफ से पूछ सकते हैं, क्योंकि कोई भी इमरजेंसी किसी भी प्रकार की कभी भी किसी को भी आ सकती है. तो ऐसे में कभी ऐसा हो तो आप एक मेरा नंबर नोट कर लें. So this is my office landline number. You can talk to Mr. Kuldeep or any staff who picks the phone regarding my class, so you will get the answer in case you ऐसा कभी होता है तो. Shreya, you give us no scope to ask any questions us because everything is clear with your lecture, sir. So Shreya, this is a wonderful question in itself, and I have no answer to your question, but मैं इसमें क्या कमेंट करूं और क्या ना करूं, बिकॉज मुझे अभी भी ऐसा लगता है कि क्वेश्चंस तो हम 100 पूछ सकते हैं. सो बट दिस इज गुड, दिस इज अ गुड साइन दैट माय स्टूडेंट्स आर हैप्पी. एंड हाँ, याद रखिएगा कि अभी शाम तक एक मेरा वर्ड्सवर्थ पे एक यूट्यूब पे अपलोड होगा लेक्चर, आईएएस नेट करके आएगा, वर्ड्सवर्थ आईएएस मेंस इन इंग्लिश लिटरेचर. उसको जरूर सुनिएगा, बहुत ध्यान से सुनिएगा. और आज चूंकि आज का लेक्चर आप सुन चुके हैं तो आप उसमें देखिएगा फर्क क्या है, आपको फर्क नजर आएगा. और हम अपने व्हाट्सएप पे आपसे ये उम्मीद करते हैं कि आप मुझे, हर स्टूडेंट अपने अपने हिसाब से फर्क बताएगा कि सर हमने सुना और आपके इस लेक्चर में और उस लेक्चर में क्या फर्क था. और हम क्लास में उस बच्चे का नाम लेंगे जिसने सही में एग्जैक्ट फर्क को समझा होगा. सो दिस इज योर होमवर्क. Khatija, you have asked that the best work of Wordsworth is which one, sir? Which one is considered as the best? This is actually $1,000,000 question. It has no answer exactly. क्यों? क्योंकि उसके अगर हम उसके पे जाएं तो लूसी poem is even a wonderful poem in the entire world because of its simplicity. क्या poem लिखी है? If we talk about Tintin Abbey, nothing like that. If we talk about Immortality Ode, nothing like that. If we talk about his Prelude, one of the greatest masterpieces in the entire world of literature. So, this is actually a question which cannot be answered because he is a great man, he's a great poet, and he has written voluminous poetry. इतनी मोटी बुक आती है महीन प्रिंट की, इतनी मोटी. आप तो 2, 4, 10, 15 एक्सकर्जन उसकी, लिरिकल बैलेट्स. सो these are the major poems which you have been reading in your BA MA days. So these are the poems which are read in the entire world are supposed to be best. इसका बस ऐसे ही समझ लीजिए, इसका कोई पिन. अब कीट्स की बात करें, कीट्स हैज रिटन ग्रेट पोइट्री. उसकी एपिकल वर्क है एक हाइपरियन, which looks like Miltonic, क्योंकि he was such a great fascination and influencer of Milton कि जब उसने हाइपरियन लिखा और लोगों ने जब हाइपरियन पढ़ा तो लोगों ने ये कह दिया कि अरे ये तो मिल्टन ने लिखा है, ये तो कीट्स ने चुरा लिया है. सो वो उसको इतना धक्का लगा कि लोगों का ऐसा मानना है कि उसकी डेथ हो गई. अगर उसका क्रिटिसिज्म नहीं होता हाइपरियन को लेकर के तो शायद वो 1-2 साल और जिंदा रह जाता. सो ही वाज सच ए इमोशनल चाइल्ड. We have to study almost all their works in detail. You don't need to study all the works in detail because it is technically not possible for anybody. Yes, you have to study. जैसे मैं आपको बताऊं, टिंटन एबी हो गया, इमॉर्टैलिटी रोड हो गया, लूसी पोएम्स हो गई, सॉनेट्स हो गई, देयर आर सम ब्यूटीफुल पैसेजेस ऑफ द प्रील्यूड. सो ये लाइंस कभी आपको दिखें किताबों में वैसे तो आप इसको गो थ्रू कर सकते हैं, इनके जिस्ट को जान सकते हैं, जिससे कभी ये कुछ घुमा फिरा के क्वेश्चंस पूछें तो आप आंसर में आ सकते हो कि नहीं ये जो पूछा है दिस आंसर इज फ्रॉम द इमिटेशंस ऑफ इमॉर्टैलिटी और टिंटन एबी और लूसी और दिस पोएम और दिस सोनेट और द प्रील्यूड. एक समय वो भी था नेट का जब ये पूछा जाता था कि ग्रोथ ऑफ द पोएट्स माइंड ये किसका सबटाइटल है, तो आंसर होता था प्रील्यूड, या प्रील्यूड का सबटाइटल क्या है, तो हम लोग लिखते थे द ग्रोथ ऑफ अ पोएट्स माइंड. ठीक है. सो अगर हम बेस्ट वर्क ऑफ कोलरिज की बात करें, जो निसर्गा आपने पूछा है, तो बेस्ट वर्क ऑफ कोलरिज तो वैसे तो सिर्फ है राइम ऑफ द एंशिएंट मैरिनर, बट क्योंकि उसने लिखा ही कम है, कुबला खान, क्रिस्टाबेल, द डिजेक्शन इन ओड, तो टोटल 4 ही वर्क उसके मेजर है, जिसमें बेस्ट उसका है राइम ऑफ द एंशिएंट मैरिनर, और इसको हमें पढ़ना चाहिए. सो स्टूडेंट्स, आज थर्सडे है, सो मीट यू टुमारो विद सम अदर न्यू पोएट्स लाइक कीट्स. हम आपको कल पढ़ाएंगे कीट्स, शेली एंड इवन विलियम ब्लेक. तो बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर इट. थैंक यू सो मच.